too early for this.
That's okay. That's okay.
When the camera's on, it's all a big bit of fun on the big red shutter club. On the big red shutter club. I'll do.
Hello, and welcome back to the Red Shutter Club. Today I'm here with the one and only Barry Jones of the Southbound Attic Band.
Hello.
Hiya, Barry. You all right? How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. No, thanks for asking me in.
I am very excited to have you on because you are definitely one of the most memorable people on the scene. I remember I came down to the Monday Club probably 2 years before I even started going to open mics around town, and by God, I remember the sausage song. One of my first month in Liverpool.
Oh, well. Yeah, I don't know whether that's a good memory or a bad memory, is it? You know?
It was a great one in my book.
Oh,
Barry.
good. Oh, good. That's good.
But so tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your music.
Oh, well, I've been playing really. I was a bedroom player up until about 30 years ago, and then 30 years ago I was volunteered to sing a song at a folk club. And there was a guy at the folk club who wrote lyrics, and he offered me some lyrics, and so within maybe a month or so of playing in my first folk club, I was recording a song. I recorded about 15 songs with him, a guy called Jeff Parry, who's a Liverpool poet, now lives down in London. He wrote the lyrics of Last Man Standing, which is probably the only song which we wrote together, which has still lasted in the set. But some of the others are okay. It's just that I don't find the circumstances really to play them out. And since that partnership, I've written probably another 100 songs of my own, so I tend to give them priority. So so that's what I do. Prior to pretty much prior to meeting Ronnie Clark, bless him, we were doing covers, in pubs on Saturday nights and what have you. I finished work in industry about 20 years ago and started playing out in pubs, but then as the market changed a bit and as I started writing songs, and because I'd met Ronnie and another guy called Jeff Hall who were happy to do original songs, we started doing original songs. And so that's pretty much it. We'd done 5 full-length CDs and played original songs in very many places.
That is something really interesting I've found with who's happy doing what in the scene. Some people want to play, if they're doing originals, they want it to be their own. Some people are happy to be part of originals. A lot of people I've found don't like doing covers, which has been really interesting.
I suppose it's a strange thing, really. It's not that I don't like doing covers, because I've made money out of doing it, and I'm more than happy to do it at the time, and I still sort of have a repertoire of Irish type songs which I can call upon if needs be. But I think I suppose one of the things about writing songs is that there must be a desire that you want people to hear them. It's a bit like poetry, really. I don't know how. I mean, people can be very introverted about their writing, but they need someone else to hear it, really, even if that's only to endorse it. But you say, I thought you were going down a slightly different route there. I mean, one of the things about the Liverpool scene particularly is that everybody's a singer songwriter. I was very fortunate to find Ronnie, who was a guitar player actually, but who offered to play bass for me on original songs. And that was terrific. There aren't very many side men around. I'm sure you found that yourself.
How have you seen the scene change over time? Because I've heard from a lot of people it's very different now than what it was. I suppose one of the biggest change, which I suppose is fairly obvious really, was COVID. I mean, prior to COVID, things were going along, with plenty of open mics and different people running them.
But I found with the COVID lockdown that the actual circuit changed, and that people who were on the circuit before, some of them didn't come back, and there were lots of new people, So it's no good resisting change, I suppose I've gone back to doing what I was doing beforehand, really, because I enjoyed doing it, but it's with a whole different set of people, so which is lovely. So I miss some of the old people, of course, but it's always nice to meet new people and new musicians particularly.
You've got this lovely little nugget, the Willows Suite.
All right.
Tell us a bit about that, Barry.
Well, a lifelong love of the book Wind In The Willows by Kenneth Grahame. And I set out with a friend of mine who's no longer with us, sadly. We had an ambition to do something and put it on at Edinburgh at the Fringe. And I actually started writing like a musical suite based on Wind In The Willows. Wind In The Willows is out of copyright. The text is, the illustrations aren't, but the text is. And so I produced I suppose it's a theatre piece where I read an extract from the book and then sing a song inspired by that extract. It sounds a little bit dry, as I'm saying to you, but I in the actual theatre part of it, I join the dots in the story so that it's got some sort of continuity. It lasts about an hour, but it's also on a CD, which we, I suppose, maybe 13 or 14 years ago was premiered, and we've done it. We did it quite a few times. I did go up to Edinburgh to see about putting it on one year, but I didn't think it was right for it. It was full of posh fellas being comedians. I say being comedians, and it's a bit of a stretch in some cases, but I thought that it was. I didn't think it was the right place for it. So I've yet to do it as a one-man show, but I've not given up the idea of doing that.
So then what is your songwriting process? Because I find it pretty difficult to say, here's a topic, here's a book, here's a story, I'm going to write about it.
I tend not to force it, if you like. I wait for ideas to come along. More often they're lyrically based, and then I put a tune to them after a fashion. I suppose that, because some things stay as poems. I do write them as poetry, and if I think that they lend themselves to music, then I will do that. But I do tend to write as poetry, and not always, but pretty much. I mean, I don't know. The latest song that I've written is a song called "King of the Fairies," which I was just inspired to write because I was walking in Wales at a festival on a Saturday morning. I was just on a sunny morning. I was just walking and ended up hugging a tree, which I quite enjoyed, as it happens. And then when I looked around, there were sculptures which had been made out of old trees, like roots still in the ground, and one of them was a throne, if you like. So, and that's what inspired me to write King of the Fairies. So, as with a lot of these things, you like the song you're writing at the moment. So. It's near enough ready, I think, to get out. I don't think it'll make the Monday Club, to be fair, but maybe the Belvedere,
Well, that is a big part of it, deciding, because you don't want to let a crowd control you or stop you from doing a song that you want to do, but there is a bit of a time and a place. Yeah,
I mean, I suppose, I've been playing the sausage song at the Cavern on a Monday night for 11 years, and I wouldn't want to stop doing that, so, but it is a little bit limiting in terms of what the other songs that you can play there. But also I feel like the Cavern Pub sort of, demands a particular type of song if you want to keep hold of the
Mm-hmm.
audience. Really, they can be a tough audience. They can be absolutely lovely, but they can be a tough audience.
Well, just because it changes every week.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it's a different audience every week, and so I say to people, really, especially to regulars, I use the same advice, which is like, play your strongest song because you've got a different audience than you had last week.
Yeah.
And although you might want to play new ones and test them out, which is fine, make sure that you're going with your bangers, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you know that one. Sinead,
I do. I've learned the hard way, Barry. But all right, so there's 2 questions that I've been asking everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
First one being, what is a song that's on the scene that you hear and you're just like, oh, I wish I wrote that?
I would probably say "Home" by Ian Prowse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen Ian now more than anybody that I've ever seen live, and that's a song which always moves me. So I would say that that's probably
It is a lovely song.
It's a lovely song, yeah.
And the whole music scene,
Mm-hmm.
for our second question here, whole music scene goes head to head. Massive scrap.
Yeah.
Who's coming out?
Well, I reckon Glenn the Doorman at the Cavern Pub.
That is the first entry we've had for Glenn, and I think that is the most correct answer we've gotten.
He's such a nice guy, but I'm sure he'd be a formidable opponent.
Oh God, I do love him. I love Glenn. Ever since my family came to town, not this past time, but the time before, and my dad was like, tell that Glenn at the door I said hi. Ever since I've done that, he always greets me, you princess, you all right?
No, he's a lovely guy for sure, but definitely.
Yeah, but with that question, a lot of people have answered you.
Oh, have they?
They have.
Well,
Quite the formidable character.
It's one of these things where I'd like to say I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I'm not sure I'm either. To be fair, so not successfully anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't mind. Infamy is as good as fame, isn't it? So
It all comes out in the wash.
absolutely.
Well, I think with that, we ought to head to our couch concert. Do you know what you're going to be playing for us?
Yes, I do. I do. I'm going to be playing A Lone Crow.
One January morning, fair, no frost but cold and still. There was no breeze to shake the trees on the dunes near Cabin Hill. But one tree shook, it compelled me to look, I could hardly believe my eyes. That tree was laden no leaves or fruit, just a charm of charmless magpies. Well, as I stood and watched the scene, the clamour grew and grew. Not one of them was listening, they all just talked on through. They bickered and they snickered, not so much chiff, only chaff. No sorrow, no joy, no girl, no boys, the mob venting their wrath. Well, I've got the secrets never to be told, that one as loud as can be. I've got a great one here about silver and gold, and then rebuked him mercilessly. He said, don't get excited, it's really not a crime. It's not a crime, it's not a crime. Secrets are just tales you tell to one person at a time. Then all at once I saw something I've never seen before. A lone crow's up an adjacent tree let out a dreadful magpies all felt silent, didn't say another word. exploits and his bravery shocked the world of birds and men. And preacher birds used their endless talk of feces, worms and diet, and spoke in hushed tones of the crow that quelled the magpie riots. They spoke in hushed tones of the crow that quelled the magpie riots. They spoke in hushed tones of the crow that quelled the magpie riots. They spoke in hushed tones of the crow that quelled the magpie riots.
It was lovely. One of my favorites.
Oh, good. That's very nice.
Because
Very
you've
nice of
definitely
you.
played it already.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Perry.
Thank you for asking me. It's an honour. Thank you.
Is there anything you want to plug before we get going?
Well, it depends when it goes out, but I'm opening for Only Child at Thornton Huff on the 25th, I think. Is it the 25th of November? Is that next Saturday? I hope it is. But I'm supposed to be playing at the Swinging Arm on the Tuesday before, but that hasn't been widely advertised.
Well, fantastic. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Spoke in hushed tones of the crow that quelled the magpie riots.
Play Glastonbury.
Play Glasto.
Yeah. That was
You play Glasto?
Yeah.
So hello and welcome back to the Red Shutter Club. I am here today with Alex Windrow. Hello, Alex.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Sean.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I'm on the Uni of campus, I run into you. It's every time I've gone to rehearse with Zara.
No, yeah,
We've crossed paths.
Yeah, 100%. It's become more, it's become more of a reoccurring.
It's like a canon event.
Yeah.
If you're on Uni of campus, you will see this man.
Because I think I remember the first time I saw you. Like, I don't think you'll remember me when I saw it. Like, I think it was in one of the arts bar open mic nights, and I think I saw you singing. And then when I saw you in Uni with Zara, I was like, oh, I know this girl. She's got a really sick voice. And then I was like, okay, I'll go and talk to you. And then like it's become more and more often now that I just see you on comms.
Even like when I ran into you, what was it, Tuesday night? I was getting off a bus from Smithtown and I heard Shannon and I was like, it's just it's happening more frequently. Stop following me, Alex.
Can't help it. It's just such a massive fan.
But all right, Alex, go on. Tell us a little bit about you and a bit about your music.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm Alex. I've been a musician for I think like most musicians for like the most of life. Yeah, I've born and raised in Liverpool. Started singing when I was about 4 years old. It was just in the back of my dad's car. Listened to James Blunt actually. That's all. Yeah, like that's sort of like a I mean, I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm just like, it's just like, I think that was like the thing that really started off my music career, because like my dad used to play that. It was, I think it was You're Beautiful. I think it was off the Back to Bedlam album. And I was just like, wow, I want to sing like James Blunt.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Like I feel like he does get a bad rep sometimes, James Blunt, but you gotta admit sometimes like he has got an alright voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took up piano lessons because I needed something to accompany my voice, and then I didn't actually start gigging until I was about, I think, 15 in my first band.
Oh, only 15. Wow, slacker.
Yeah, I know, yeah. All these other musicians starting at like 5 years old. I'm just like, rocking up at 15, doing my first gig.
I didn't start learning guitar until I was 16.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot better than when I started learning guitar. Like, a lot better.
Mm.
Like, I only started playing guitar when I was 18, so 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're very good.
Like, it was, so yeah, like, I started playing piano. I was classically trained originally, and then obviously I wanted to do something a bit more, and then I think obviously lockdown happened, and that's when I really took the guitar seriously. I'd only pick it up to play a couple of songs, but then I started to take it a lot more seriously when I had the motivation to actually go out there and ask. Like obviously just a couple of bars in Liverpool, and a couple of bars where I live up in Walton, to start, if I can have a gig, and then it sort of kicked off from there.
What do you think is the best way to actually go about getting gigs? Because I know that I myself, and I know a lot of people who I know who are very talented, still struggle to find gigs.
Yeah, it's do you know what? I think it's probably one of the hardest things in when you get into the music industry, because like what they don't teach in school, and I think this is why it's a very like not so like praised subject, because like there's one thing teachers can't teach. It's like to be confident and actually be, because like, it's a very social industry, and I think 80% of the music industry is based off being social.
Yeah.
And then like 20% of actually of the music side, which does come into it. But like I think going back to your question, when I came out of lockdown and I was like quite eager to go and get gigs, it was more just like I had to like bite the bullet a little bit, and just like the second before you go into a bar, you just like, okay, just get out, just ask them, okay, do you want any live music, and then you're out there. It's literally you feel like you have to come up with like some mad script to be like, so yeah, I'm a musician, I'm 15, and I play guitar and I do this, I do that. It's not. It's just asking for like availability, and then the person who owns the bar and does the live music, they'll take a chance on you.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And I think the best thing that I did was, and this is what my dad told me, he made me go and print like business cards. So like when you do go around about 10-15 bars, then you don't have to like sort of repeat yourself every time. You can just literally give your card and then leave it up to them whether they want to look at your socials and then book you then. And then it sort of increases the chances and the likelihood that you'll get a gig, because like if you give about 20 business cards, it only takes that one bar to get back to you, and then you've literally like you've either got a residency there, or you've actually start playing.
Definitely. And you've played some interesting places, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. So I played Glastonbury.
You're our second Glastonbury player on the podcast.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
To be fair, it's not an official Glastonbury slot like I've been asked. It was more just like a right place at the right time.
Yeah. That's you say 80% of it's social. That's a good part of that 80%.
No, do you know what? That story comes into play perfectly with this situation, because it was literally it was your first time in Glastonbury as well. I went with my brother, my sister, and a couple of my brother's mates as well, just to just sort of take a break from music and actually like go and listen to someone else other than myself for the weekend. And then literally like it was we were on our way to see I think it was a band called The Hives. They were playing I think like at 2:00, and then obviously we were a bit early, so we went to this bar to get a bevy beforehand. Basically the bar had this open mic during the day, and I think I saw a couple of people get up, so I was thinking, is it just like can anyone just get up and play? And I saw someone sound checking on there, so I was like, okay. So I went up to the sound technician, who was like sort of situated on like the side of the stage, and I was like, can anyone just like get up and play? And I was like, do you mind if I do a couple of songs? He's like, yeah, go on, just play 2 or 3. So I picked up the guitar, and there was about like 500-600 people in the audience. I was like, what do I play here? So picked up the guitar, played, and then just literally played like all like the crowd please, and then like I think, and then I got like pretty much everyone singing.
That is crazy.
It was just like the most unreal experience you can ever think of, and I think because it was that unreal, like if you asked me like what was it like being up there, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't remember. It was that quick.
Yeah.
I can't even like remember being there. And
I can't even imagine a Glastonbury crowd, and that type of crowd I feel like is a lot different than what you're used to as a gigging musician or at, like, say, an open mic.
Yeah.
I know there's a rock and roll circus at the Jacaranda. Someone I know, his band does it, and he had asked me up once, and it's the first time that I've played to like an overly enthusiastic crowd.
Yeah.
And my God, what a different
it's
experience.
such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know, like it's so, it makes such a difference when like there's, when like, depending on how the crowd are feeling. Because if the crowd is so, like, you know, enthusiastic about being there and they're all, like, you know, joyful and having a really good time, it sort of gives you a bit more confidence, and, and you end up doing better. And that's what I felt like with Glaston, because everyone was there for music. Yeah. Not everyone was there to, you know, well, obviously, like, everyone was there to, you know, have a good time with the mates and stuff like that as well, but they're solely there for the music. Yeah. And I think that's what made it, like, 10 times better, and it makes you more confident with what you're doing, because it's, you know, they're here to listen. Yeah. Well,
that's what I think is interesting about, like, a lot of people I know don't enjoy doing covers so much, and I think it's so funny because if you're still building up your original stuff, would it be cool if people would do that to your music? Yeah, but you can still get that feeling kind of from a cover. It's like you know.
No, 100%. Like it's so funny you say that, because like there's some musicians who like myself, I do either 3 or 4 gigs a weekend, but just doing covers. Yeah. Now, like, obviously, like, there's a part of me that still wants me to, you know, get out there and, like, you know, push my own brand of my own music, and one day get my own band to, you know, like, make a living off my own music. But I think there's always, like, I feel like some people do frown upon it sometimes, because it's like, oh, well, it's not your own music, you're just doing, like, you know, cover gigs. Okay, all you're doing is like belt at every single night, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, if anything, it's a good way to start, because like there's loads of money in it. Mm-hmm. And the way I view it is, like, I'll go out and earn that money through doing the cover gigs, and then route that through my own music then.
And you're still getting better at music.
Yeah,
while
exactly.
You're doing them.
Yeah, because you're still practicing, and you're still keeping your voice and your playing ability up to scratch. And you know, and there's people who solely just do like band stuff, but then they only get gigs every like 2 or 3 weeks. Yep. But then does that make it better because you get a better high from it, but it's
So okay, and talking about that kind of stuff. No, let me So then, tell us about some of your original stuff then.
Okay, well, I've released my first debut. Well, it's not fair. Well, just the debut single. I'm Not Awake. So that was this one over here. You can follow on my socials. It's on all streaming platforms. I self-produced it myself in my university studio. And I'm hoping to release more music by January as well. So keep on the lookout for that. Yeah, but it was sort of a scary one. Like I spent the most part of 6-7 months like producing this, because it's the first thing I've ever like produced myself as well. So and because I was still learning, like I'd always go back to it a month later and go, oh, I can do better than that. And then because I keep getting better at what I'm doing, I think that's why it took so long. Yeah.
Plus, it's ripping that Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
If it's the first one, you're like, oh, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, that's it. But then I'm really glad I've done it now, because I've got like a desire to like release more now, because I've gone and done it now. It sort of like keeps me wanting to go back and release more.
Definitely. So what does your songwriting process look like then?
It's a bit of a strange one, because so for example, I'm Not Awake, that only took me I think 4 hours to properly like write and get a melody and get down. Like it felt really just like easy. And then obviously because like I don't know about yourself, but like so sometimes you can get those songs where like it just comes, so like you just don't have to think about it, just like comes out and you're just like, wow, yeah, like this is what I feel like should happen. But then there's some songs like there's one I'm writing at the moment, and it's taken me a month to get a melody down, and it's like obviously like I still love the song and stuff, but it's because it's like you know, and sometimes you think you've got something really good, you just don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
like you really want that melody to be really good, so like it doesn't get like, brushed under the rug sort of thing. It's kind of one of those songs at the moment where I just want like the melody to be really good.
And it's really worthwhile because at the end of it, I've had a few songs where like I've had an idea and I've had like a line or two for a chorus, and I'm like, no, that topic deserves something more.
Yeah.
And then months later, I'll see a random TikTok that inspires it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. But that feeling when you finally complete it, it's better than the one you do in 4 hours.
It's literally just like pages upon pages of voice memos of just like vocal lines. I'm not even joking. Like that exact song I'm talking about, I've already got like 2 voice memos from the bus journey this morning.
Yeah.
Like just going, oh, that's actually really good. I'll just sing it on the bus, and there's just like people looking around like.
Well, that's my favorite thing, is going back and trying to deduce what I meant in the voice memos.
Yeah.
Because either it's just random like, or I'm like, do this and this and that, but I did it at 4 a.m. after I was at an open mic, and it's just not the language that I'm currently speaking.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, but that because like I feel like when it's a really good, thing that you've got there as well, you wanna have a good story to go along with it as well.
Yeah.
Instead of just the same I can't help, or like it's the same, like the same usable lyrics that like that reoccur in most of these songs. Like, oh no, I really want it to be about something personal.
Yeah.
Instead of just the same like crap.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there are 2 questions that I've been asking everybody at the end of these interviews this season, courtesy of my producer, Guy Makes Music. The first is, what is a song in the current scene by a Liverpool artist that you just wish that you wrote?
I think in light of current events, I'd say I really wish I wrote Mixed Signals by The Night Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's just been on my Spotify playlist for the past like 2 weeks. I have now found like a newfound appreciation for the band.
Yeah.
For reasons obviously I won't mention, but I just I think when I listen back to it now, I think like, wow, like some really like powerful and like like genuinely raw like songs with like with really good meaning as well. And like I just think back and go, oh, I really wish I wrote that. Like 100%.
Now to take a full 180 from that wholesome message, whole Liverpool music scene goes into the octagon. Massive scrap.
Oh, right.
Who's coming out?
Wait, what was the question? Oh, that's a tough one. Is it physically or just like musically?
It is whatever you want. I think when my producer guy was like, "Hey, you should do this."
Yeah.
I think he meant physically because he's 6'4" and could win by doing this.
Okay,
to
so
people.
if we're based off physically, I think I'd say the Stones.
Oh yeah,
from Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know why. Just I think they just seem like a very mean band.
You don't need explanation for this.
Yeah.
It's
in a good way, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, so I think with that we'll head off to our couch concert.
Yeah. Or just stuff like. Okay, cool. This is on my way.
Make space to stretch your arms out wide, wide. I care about you constantly, every day slips away endlessly. Care about you all the time, can't get you off my mind anytime. Where's the empathy? Where's the clarity? Watch reality, 'cause I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake anymore, I'm not awake, I'm not awake. Now you see, your insecurities won't get the best of me. You're not the weak or the vain. I'm just awaiting the afterlife train to pass by all this pain. Why I care about you constantly, every day slips away endlessly. Oh, I care about you all the time, can't get you off my mind anytime. Where's the empathy? Where's the clarity? Watch reality, 'cause I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake anymore, I'm not awake, I'm not awake. Care about you constantly, fade away instantly, fall apart instantly. Maybe it's not today, throw away yesterday, or throw away yesterday. 'Cause I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake anymore, I'm not awake, no, I'm not awake. No, I'm not awake, I'm not awake anymore, I'm not awake, I'm not awake.
Well, that was lovely. I
Yeah.
don't think I've actually seen you play. I run into you all the time.
Yeah, it's probably great to
Mhm.
have a sit down chat. Finally,
Yeah, this has been lovely. Thank you for coming on.
no, thanks for having us.
Is there anything you want to plug before we get going?
Yeah. So if you want to follow us on all my socials, I'm pretty active on my Instagram. I'm releasing new stuff in the next 2 months, so I'll be on all streaming platforms as well. And I have a gig in December supporting Tom Lloyd. It's his headline in the Jacaranda, so if you fancy coming down, yeah, you're more than welcome.
If you fancy a sing song, come on down.
Yeah, get up and sing with us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Alex, and thank you so much for tuning in.
I'm not awake.